Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I kind of have something that's a little interesting to talk about. So I went to the final performance of the Cher show today, of its pre-Broadway run in Chicago. So today is July 15th, and so I took my mom and myself to go see it, obviously. And so I don't know if you heard online or anything, but the performance was canceled. So I'm going to take you through everything that happened today. It shouldn't be too long. But so basically, I've seen the show 3 times now. I saw the first 2 previews, which is what I mentioned about in my review, and then I saw at a 3rd time, which I'm going to get into a different time. My original intention was after the 3rd time, see it this time, and then do a review, a re-examination at the end. So I'm not going to be able to do that now. I don't really know how it was by the time it ended, but I will talk about that 3rd preview in another video. And coincidentally, in that 3rd preview, I was also in the audience when Cher was in the audience, and I saw the real life Cher. But I'm going to save all that for another video, so this is just about today. So we go to the theater, and so we're let into the theater, not like the theater area, but like, you know, the lobby area and everything in there. So usually, because the show was at 2, they'll let people in at 1:30. That's how Broadway in Chicago usually works. So at 1:30, we had an usher just open the door and let us in, because usually there's an announcement, but there was none. So I guess they just assumed to let people in. So me and my mom walk in, and we were kind of the last few rows of the balcony, and so we go in, and the first thing I notice is that the curtain isn't down like it should be with the Cher Show logo. It's up. You can see the set, and there's a million stagehands working on the set. And I walked in, and I knew right away that something was wrong. I knew it. And so we sat down in our seats, and I won't lie, the usher was so rude. One of the rudest ushers I've ever had to deal with in my life. But she because I knew where my seat was, and so we started heading there, and she's like, "You are not allowed anywhere without me seeing your ticket." And I was like, "Ma'am, I know this theater better than you, so I know where I'm sitting. Thank you very much." And so we sat down, and so I'm looking at the set, and I'm like, "Oh my God, there's something not right here." So then eventually a guy comes up, and he's like, they're kicking everybody out who was let in. So we're all back waiting in this, if you're up high in the balcony in the Oriental, the area to like before you get in is like really narrow and really tiny. So there were a whole bunch of people cramped in there. So we're waiting and waiting, and there's no announcement. And then it became 2 o'clock, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So I think we were finally let back into the theater around, I would say 2:05, I want to say. And I go in, and I knew, again, something was wrong. Because they had the giant circle that says the Cher Show down, and usually behind it there would just be a black background, that black backdrop. But that wasn't up. There was a scrim in which you could see through, and there were chairs all across the stage. And I was like, uh-oh. I knew that was not part of the show. So by the time, there was about 10 minutes before 2:30. There was an announcement that came over the speaker, and it was like, we apologize for the inconvenience, but in 10 minutes the Cher Show, they said something like, a very special performance of the Cher Show will begin. And so I was like, okay, so in my head, because I know how this stuff happens, I felt like they were either going to do a sits probe, meaning that they were just going to sit there and do the show without sets, without costumes, and I was like, okay, fine, I've seen it 3 times. It's not a big deal. I understand. It just made me kind of sad because my mom was there, but it was in no one's control. So there's no one really to blame for it. And so by the time the show started, it started a little after 2:30. I want to say it started at 2:36. The producer came out, whose name is escaping me at the moment. If I see it, I will know it. Okay, well, I don't see his name, but I'll give a shout out to him down there. He came out and basically said, we're not doing a performance, but the cast would like to say something to you. So the cast then all came out, and then Stephanie J. Block walked right out, and I cannot tell you how wonderful of a human being she is. She was so sweet. She was just talking. She said a line from the show, and one of them is like, I'm gonna paraphrase it a little bit. It's basically a line that says, we've hit plenty of fucking walls. And she's like, well, today we've hit a huge fucking wall. And so they told us that they were not going to be doing the show and that we would all be refunded for our money. Basically what happened, from what I can gather, is that there was a set malfunction, obviously, but mostly it was the 2 panels that moved around, and they do a lot with those panels. And apparently, from what I found out, they were messing up last night, and they were working all night and could not get them working today. So it was really unfortunate that they could not do that. But they gave us a 4-song mini concert of "I Got You, Babe," "The Way of Love," "Song for the Lonely," and "Believe." And yeah, and then that was it. So there was no real like definitive final last performance of the Chicago run. So I'm really kind of saddened by that. But I got to see it 3 times, so I really can't complain. But I will say that the whole situation by the cast was handled really nicely. I think Broadway in Chicago could have done such a better job of handling the situation, which it's not, because I have a lot of problems with Broadway in Chicago. But I feel like the situation could have been handled better. I don't feel it was right to keep everybody like out in those areas, because it just became cramped, and there's no way that is not a fire hazard. So yeah, and so I went to the stage door. I was one of the first few people in line at the stage door, and fun fact, a lot of the cast recognized me from my review. They saw it. So a lot of them came out, they recognized me, and they were all so sweet. Everyone in the cast is just, they're amazing, talented, brilliant, wonderful. But the one person I would like to give a shout out to is Tiana, I'm gonna so butcher this last name, Okoye. She was actually, the last time I saw it, she was the first person to ever recognize me from the video, and she was so sweet. She remembered me again. She's the sweetest person. So yeah, I met Emily Skinner. She was great. Everyone was just so great at stage door. They were so nice, so lovely. Stephanie J. Block was the sweetest. She came out and she was like, I forgot what she said, like, holy shit, because she couldn't believe all the people were out there. The cast was clearly so sad about the fact that they couldn't give their last show, and you kind of felt there with them, and it was really sad, but at the same time, it was kind of cool in a way, because it's like, how many people can say they went to the canceled performance of the Cher show? But this is the playbill I got signed today. They no longer have the Pride ones. Well, they no longer have any more because it's over. But so yeah, I got signed by most of the cast, and then I had another one under here which a couple people signed, including Stephanie J. Block. So there's that. Yeah, if you were at this show, they gave vouchers to tell people where to get refunded for their tickets. I'm gonna have a little struggle getting my refund because of ways. But so yeah, it was definitely an interesting day. But you know what? I wish the show nothing but the best. This happens. The one thing I do have to say crazy, though, is that I find it really funny that this happened on the last show. Like, the last show is where the set broke down. Because usually it's the first couple of previews where they're still, like, having real big trouble with the set. But the last preview, or the last show in general, was their day. So, yeah. But it was definitely an interesting day. If you get the chance to see it on Broadway, please go. I promise I will do a little recap of the 3rd time I went and give a final revitalized review of what I have seen. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you were there today, I hope you at least had a fun time. And again, if you weren't there today, I can tell you that the show is great, and you would have enjoyed it. It still has some work to do in Chicago, or after Chicago, but what pre-Broadway show doesn't? So thank you guys, and have a good day, have a good week. Hopefully I'll be seeing another show soon. I'm not sure yet though, but thank you guys.